Hey, what's up guys, TotallyDubbed here, and today I'm doing a video review for the AKG Y50s. Now these were recently announced after IFA Berlin 2014 to bring out a different urban line to be aimed at more youngsters and people that want a bit more portability from headphones. These headphones come at about £80 and can be purchased on amazon.co.uk. Link it will be in the description below. And these come in various different colours. This one is the black version, but they can be bought in striking colours such as yellow and black, which really does stand out. Something I haven't really seen from a big headphone audiophile company to make these type of headphones. Anyway, let's get on with this review. So first of all, the packaging is quite simple, something that you expect like in the K551s and the K545s. So the Y50s share that as well. In the package you've got the headphones, you've got a nice little pouch for carrying, you've got a wire over here, and you've got a 1/4 inch adapter. To me, the accessories are decent, but a little bit confusing, and the reason behind that is due to the wire and this 1/4 inch adapter. The wire personally didn't really work with my amp. In order to make it work, I had to press down this the one button over here in order to have the full dynamic range. Without it, it was almost like I was playing at the half volume, and therefore where does this come into the equation is a little bit beyond me. I'm not really sure what AKG were trying to do, but I guess having it included is always a plus, and I guess it doesn't cost much. But it would have been nice if we had a different type of cable that could have been provided that was intended for home use. Unfortunately, that's not the case, and you've only got a cable that's provided for mobile. Now, the cable itself is decent. It's a 3.5mm jack that's right angled, and this one is a slightly 2.5mm that goes into the headphones on the right hand side. I just had to double check before I said anything wrong, but it goes on the right hand side over here. The wire itself caused me a little problem. Connected to my Galaxy S3, I did have disconnection problems, and normally, well, should I say normally, I've never had that problem ever since the Sennheiser IE8, which are absolutely horrible earphones to my ears and cause a lot of problems with disconnection and static. These, on the other hand, just disconnected on one driver when you just wiggled it. It was very much precarious why it was doing this, because it seemed to be the case even with my amplifier. Either way, I've deemed that as more of an isolated issue, and it's something I've noted down in my written review, which will be in the description below on my website, that it could have been an isolated issue and it could have been something that I was just unlucky with. Therefore, I've not factored this in really much into the review, but again, this stresses my point of it would have been great if we had an extra cable. Anyway, continuing on, the pouch itself is really useful. It's great for portability, and putting the headphones in couldn't be easier. It's brilliant because it protects the headphones for on-the-go use. Now onto the headphones themselves. Starting off with the build quality. The build quality is absolutely excellent. I really like what AKG have done here. It has a really nice pivot function. It can go in like that for portability. It can be adjusted, and the adjustment over here is denoted by numbers. However, the numbers are a little bit faded. It's quite hard to see, and they're almost the same color of the headphone. It would have been better if this was in white, but the build quality is really good, really solid, and something I would recommend for taking on the go. That said, it isn't absolutely perfect, and that really comes down to the design of the headphone. Due to it being very small and supposedly very portable, you have on-ear pads, and this is great in terms of conserving space, but when it comes to isolation and putting it on to try and cancel out noise, exterior noise, you're not going to do a really good job. In fact, I took them on the tube in London, and they really did a horrible job in terms of isolation. Of course, music was playing, and therefore it was cutting out some of the noise, but in reality I could pretty much hear everything that was going out around me. And more so when I cranked up the volume, you got sound leakage, and again, that is kind of normal for on-ear headphones. It's a little bit of a shame that they've chosen this, as I would have preferred over-the-ear headphones myself. Furthermore, due to its design, it's got a very thin top headband. As you can see, if I put my finger here, my finger is actually bigger than the actual headband. It's extremely thin. Just to give you a comparison, this is the AKG K545s, and look at the difference. Pretty much 3 times the size. So the headband's very small, but again, that's due to portability. But that affects comfort. As it's very small, there's very little padding over here, and over time this metal kind of digs into the top of your head. Therefore, I wouldn't really suggest it for long periods of use. Other than that, I did find the build quality really good, and I quite like the fact you actually got a removable cable. It's great that AKG didn't cheap out over here, because removable cables are brilliant for longevity. In terms of the looks and the design, it's nothing too striking over here, but when you compare the other colors, you'll see the looks and design is very much urban looking. It's very cool, very trendy looking, and something that people that potentially are younger would really appreciate. So I'm reasonably happy with that, and I can't really complain, because that is where the headphone is aimed at. Now moving on to the actual sound quality, probably the most important part of any audio equipment. The sound quality was quite disappointing, and the reason I'm saying that is because as an AKG headphone I expected quite a lot. Despite them being on-ear, despite them being £80, I still expected an AKG signature sound, or even something that would really say, oh yeah, okay, it's £80, it's cheap, it's portable, it's an on-ear headphone, but the sound quality is decent. It's not great, but it's decent. In this respect, I did find it just above par, and in all honesty, that's not enough for me. The lows were pretty much non-existent in the sub-bass region. The mid-bass region were really subdued. The mid-range was very veiled, and it felt like it was suffocating. Again, that could be due to the headphone design as well, due to it being on ear. And the highs, again, just like other AKG headphones that I've reviewed, like the K551, K545s, were rolled off. This model even more so. So it was disappointing again to experience this from an AKG headphone. Sure, if this was another brand, I would have perfectly accepted that and said, oh, it's an £80 headphone, you shouldn't expect much. But this is an AKG headphone. It's got prestige, it's got name behind it, and the shame that AKG have really cheaped out in this respect. I'm not sure it would really do well in terms of a pure audio analysis. I think it would do pretty badly, in fact. The only thing really going for it is the fact that it's a portable headphone, and therefore it can be excused for certain problems that it might face in the sound quality department. In terms of the soundstage again wasn't that great, and that's simply due to the fact that it's on-ear headphones again, and therefore you can't expect much. Due to it also leaking sound, you do get external noise, which doesn't really help for the overall experience. So overall, what do I think about the headphones? Well, personally, I rated them a 6.5 out of 10, and that's mainly due to the audio quality. The build quality is nice, the design is nice, the packaging, accessories are nice, the comfort is pretty much excellent, but the isolation and the audio quality, two things that I would really want from a portable headphone, are really not there for me. And especially, as I said, on top of that, as it's an AKG headphone, it really doesn't get any sort of luck from in my respect, because if it was a different brand, as I said, a cheap Chinese brand, maybe I probably would have accepted a bit more, but as it's AKG, they really have cheaped out in this respect. So I can't really recommend these for sound quality. I can recommend them, on the other hand, for portability. It's definitely a headphone that's really nice to take around, and it is designed very well and built to last. But to be honest, you can find loads of those type of headphones all over the place, and that's not very hard to find. But if you want an AKG headphone, then I would save up an extra maybe 20-30 quid, sacrifice the kind of portability look, and go for an AKG K551. You'll be much better off in almost every aspect. So that's my suggestion for you guys. Also, if you've got a little bit more money, then you can go for the AKG K545s, which are absolutely excellent headphones. I really love these headphones, and I would really suggest them. Anyway guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, make sure you give it a nice healthy thumbs up. Make sure you do subscribe, as it always helps, and definitely do let me know your comments about the headphones themselves, if you're thinking about buying them or if you have them already, and what you think about AKG's lineup in this respect. Alright guys, I've been Totally Dubbed. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Take care. Bye bye.